So if you have a ceiling 9 foot 6 inches and below, you're probably using our hammock kit with slings. So I'm going to show you how to adjust your hammock height with the slings. And the slings are in the hammock in a prusik knot, and you will be lengthening the tail and shortening the tail. So first off, when you're making these adjustments, you want to be working around your head height. So if I were to try to make the adjustments down reaching above my head, it's going to be very challenging for me to do it. And so I'm going to come up so it's at least at my head height, or I could even be higher too. You want to work in a way that feels comfortable, but also so you'll be able to put this vertical when adjusting. So to adjust the hammock height, you're going to have your tails, and your tails are going to go longer or shorter. So if we make this tail shorter, it brings the hammock up and shortens the hammock if you need the hammock to be higher. And if we make this tail shorter, it lengthens the hammock, so the hammock will be lower. In order to make that adjustment, you're going to come up to where you see your sling wrapped in a prusik knot, and you're really just gonna loosen it a little bit. You're not gonna take it off the carabiner, just loosen it. And then you need to make the adjustment vertically. So I'm gonna make the tail longer, which is gonna shorten the hammock. So I'm gonna grab, you'll see right above that where that sling is, I'm gonna pull the tail up. Now that the hammock is shorter, I'm going to tighten that prusik knot by pulling down on both sides. You always want to pull down on both sides after you make that adjustment. And if I want to make the tail shorter, which is then going to bring the hammock down and make it longer, I'll do the same thing, just opposite. So again, loosen it. And then now instead of the tail being up, I'm gonna have the tail down, but we still need to go this vertical, and we're just gonna simply pull up, and that's gonna shorten the tail. And then we're going to pull down on both sides to tighten it. So for safety, we have this additional safety knot. Ultimately, it's there because as we are adjusting, a lot of times we adjust so fast that we actually just pull the whole hammock through the prusik knot. So the knot is to help prevent that. But also it's another safety of maybe if you did tie a prusik knot incorrectly, you could see that the tail is getting shorter and it's sliding. So it would be a good little clue to check your rigging and retie the knot. When we are adjusting this, you have these tails and they could be different lengths, but you always want to have at least 2 inches before the knot next to the sling. So see how here I have about 3 inches, so that's great, so I can pull down on each side, but you don't want the knot right up at the sling. So I'm going to show you what you don't want. So we're going to loosen this, and then I'm going to get the tail shorter, but do you see now how I went up right at the knot? This actually changes how the prusik knot looks, as it's now a little like tilted, and it's not as safe this way, nor do you have any space to pull down and tighten it. So this would not be good. You need to have at least 2 inches, or at least like enough for your fingers to grab on to pull down. So let's pull this up, make sure we have some space. So now that would be a good minimum as we pull down for your prusik knot. So you have space on each side to pull it down. Again, let's lengthen the tail, shortening the hammock, vertical, a little bit loose on the sling, pull the tail up, that's shortening the hammock, then you pull down on each side to tighten, and make sure you have your safety knots in.